Hi, my name is Mai, and it was always my dream to have twins growing up. So you know, when I entered the childbearing phase of my life, I Googled the crap out of how to have twins, how to increase your chances of having twins, what are the odds of having twins, is there anything I can do to get twins into my body? And I'm about to break that down for you right now because somehow my psychotic wish to have two babies at the same time came true. I'll start with the odds of having natural, or really the better word for it is spontaneous twins, and then I'll move into actions you can take to increase your odds of having twins. All right, let's jump into the video, but before we do, I have to shamelessly plug my channel. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. I make videos to inform and entertain moms, so if you like being entertained and informed, press the subscribe button. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so first we'll start with identical twins because it's pretty easy to break down the odds of conceiving identical twins because they are completely spontaneous. They don't run in families. There's nothing you can really do to increase your odds of conceiving identicals. They can put a man on the moon, but they still have no clue specifically what causes the egg to split to create identical twins. Across all races, the odds of having identical twins is about 3 in every 1,000 births. So that's less than 0.5% chance to have identical twins. Now, fraternals are a bit more complicated to break down because there's a lot of moving parts and variables that increase and decrease a single person's odds of conceiving fraternal twins. Fraternal twins are two separate eggs fertilized by two separate sperm. So genetically, it's the same as just any other brother-sister relationship. And in order for, two eggs to be fertilized, the mother has to drop multiple eggs at a time. So fraternals are really dependent on the mother's ability to hyperovulate, which is a fancy word for dropping more than one egg per cycle. The fraternal twinning rate is the highest it's ever been at just around 3%, thanks to advances in modern medicine and IVF and other fertility drugs. But if you want to know specifically what the chances are for spontaneous fraternal twins, it's anywhere between 1 to 1.5%. So I'm going to break down for you. Let me log into my computer. Come on, load. All right, so what I have up on the screen right now is a little PowerPoint slide that I put together because I am psycho and I wanted to know specifically what the odds are of conceiving just any type of twins, which you can see up top. 14 in 1,000 births worldwide are twins spontaneously. So this is just no fertility drugs, no IVF. This is just random spontaneity in the world of conceiving twins. 14 in 1,000 births worldwide are twins. So you got about a 1.4 chance of spontaneously conceiving twins based on that number. Of those 14 spontaneous twins, 3 of those are identical twins per 1,000 births. So if you conceive twins spontaneously, you have a 21.4 chance of those twins being identical and a 78.6% chance of those twins being fraternal. And then I have it even broken out further from there. So if your dream is to have boy-girl twins, then you're in luck because those are the most common type of twins, with 39.3% of twins spontaneously birthed into the world are boy-girl twins. Then girl-girl fraternal twins or boy-boy fraternal twins, it's just under 20% of all twins. Then the least common type of twin is just girl-girl or boy-boy identical twins, coming in at just over 10% of all twins. So that might have been a little bit more twin information than you ever thought you needed to know, but I thought it was cool information, so it's a fun fact you can share with your friends. All right, so now that we've broken down the odds of all the different types of twins that you can have, let's move into what you can do specifically to increase your odds of conceiving twins, if that's what you want to do. Now, as I said before, the odds of having identical twins is completely random and spontaneous. There's nothing you can really do to increase your odds of conceiving identical twins. I've heard that people that undergo IVF do have slightly increased odds of conceiving identical twins, but it's not as, foolproof or clear-cut as if you want twins and you're doing IVF and you put 2 eggs into the little bucket of your uterus or whatever, wherever it goes. I'm not a scientist. You know what I mean. But when it comes to fraternal twins, there are some things set in stone in just your genetics and your body that some women are just more likely to hyperovulate than others. And I'll go over those things first that you can't control. But then there are some levers that you can pull to increase your body's ability to hyperovulate per cycle, and I'll go over those last. So first, I'll read out the uncontrollable factors that increase your odds of fraternal twins. So the first one is your race. African American women are more likely to hyperovulate, and then Asians are actually the least likely to hyperovulate. So they're the least likely to have fraternal twins. Your height also plays a factor. So being taller makes you more likely to conceive fraternal twins, specifically being over 5 foot 5 inches. Being a heavier weight makes you more likely to conceive fraternal twins, having a BMI over 30. Then the most common one is that it just runs in your family and it's in your genetics to hyperovulate. So if you're a fraternal twin yourself or your mother is a fraternal twin, your odds of hyperovulation are up significantly. So it's not uncommon when you do meet someone who conceived fraternal twins spontaneously. It's not uncommon for them to have a grandma who was a twin, or their mom's a twin, or they have twin siblings, or they're a twin themselves. It's a very strong genetic component. And the last one that's an uncontrollable factor that makes it more likely for you to conceive fraternal twins is being of advanced maternal age. I don't like that term. Just being over the age of 35, your body is more likely to drop more eggs the older you get. Now, for the controllable factors, what you can do to increase your odds of conceiving twins, this is what I was obsessed with before I did end up conceiving my identical twins, is what I'll read through next. So the first one is eat yams. A yam, I think, is just like a sweet potato? I don't know. Google it. People in Nigeria have the highest rate of twin births. It is observed that they eat lots of yams, which are full of progesterone and phytoestrogens, which may be what leads to the hyperovulation. I just cough, so my eyes are really watery. Not crying, even though it's really amazing having twins. Number 2, eat dairy. In a study, it was observed that women who consumed more dairy are 5 times more likely to have twin babies in comparison to women who don't drink a lot of dairy. That is a huge increase. So if you really want to hyperovulate, I guess drink a lot of dairy. Next is increasing your folic acid or folate consumption. You can get folic acid or folate in pretty much any prenatal on the market. It's kind of the number 1 important vitamin to get into your body when you are pregnant. It is not 100% known why this helps, but it's speculated that if you're getting sufficient folic acid, you are more likely to hyperovulate and increases the odds of implantation. All right, so this next controllable factor that increases your odds of having twins, I feel like is kind of hilarious. And in some of the twin mom groups that I'm in, I know that some of the twin moms conceive their twins while doing this, not knowing that it increased their odds of conceiving twins. So, breastfeeding. Try to get pregnant when you are still breastfeeding. One study found that women that were breastfeeding when they conceived were 9 times more likely to conceive twins. 9 times more likely than women who were not breastfeeding. Now, if you're watching this, you might be shocked too, because a huge myth is that when you're breastfeeding, it's like birth control and you can't get pregnant. And so there are some women that just use breastfeeding as their contraception to prevent having more babies. And clearly that is not a very good idea, because you are 9 times more likely to conceive twins if you are breastfeeding. So now you can scare the crap out of any of your friends who tell you that fun fact when they're breastfeeding their baby, thinking that they're not going to get pregnant. You could get 2 babies. Then the last one, which is, pretty obvious, is undergoing fertility treatments. In the last 30 years, the twinning rate has more than doubled thanks to modern medicine and different fertility treatments that you can do. I never personally went to a fertility clinic myself. However, I have heard from friends that had trouble conceiving tell me that their doctors actually tried to advise against putting in 2 eggs when they're doing IVF, because there are a lot more risks when it comes to carrying 2 babies versus 1. It is considered a high-risk pregnancy, but if you really, really want twins and you're having trouble conceiving, you may already be seeing a specialist, so definitely talk to your fertility specialist. I'm filled with more fun facts, not actual medical advice, so gonna end it there. So those are the controllable factors that can increase your odds of hyperovulation. For the most part though, I think we can all agree that it's probably just luck of the draw. The last thing that I did that has no clinical research behind it, but I feel like I gotta say it. Maybe there's some people who do believe in this, and while it is probably just luck of the draw, I feel like I at least have to mention this, is my entire life I have put it out into the universe that I want twins, I want twins. I've told everyone I want twins. I've prayed on it. Again, maybe it didn't do anything, probably didn't do anything, but it doesn't hurt to put things out into the universe, and it doesn't hurt to pray on it. Maybe if it even increased my odds 0.00001%, it's worth it if that's what you really want. And it doesn't cost you a dime to put it out there, so why not? Positive vibes, at least, maybe decreases your stress, makes you a happier person. And maybe happy people have twins. I don't know. I don't know. Unhappy people have twins too, I guess. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. 1 like equals 1 positive twin vibe out into the universe for yourself. I hope this video helps you get the twins that you always wanted. Or if you already have twins and you watch this just for fun, I hope it gave you some fun facts that you can share with your friends or to the millions of strangers that will be asking you for the rest of your life how you conceive twins. It's a very personal question, but people, for some reason, think it's okay to ask how you got pregnant. There's an obvious answer, but everyone will ask you how you got twins. If you are pregnant with twins or have twins, leave a comment down below of the craziest thing anyone has ever asked you about carrying twins or having twins. And if you're trying to get pregnant with twins, ask me a crazy question. I will pretty much answer anything. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.